putting together that information. Hours. I poured my heart and soul into that. And since every one of you say that you did this for the safety of our children, I would hope that you gave me and my research the same time that I put into that, because I care about my daughter and the kids who go to school here. None of that was a joke. That was real. I was really calm and collected last time. I'm not so calm and collected this time. This is not for the safety of our children. This is because it makes everyone feel better to put masks on. I said this last time, and that people like to say kids are resilient. If kids are so resilient, why do we have so many adults who have psychological and mental problems?
Exactly.
They're not that resilient. None of them. Many adults have problems that stem down to when they were children. Now, and did anybody stop and think about what covering these masks does for kids who have issues with speech, who have learning disabilities, who already have just some challenges psychologically and emotionally, what they're put through every time they put a mask on, and then what how those teachers feel when they're trying to read the looks on those children's faces, what that must be like for teachers. Does anybody stop and think about that? And I'm sorry, it's not our children's job to protect grandma and grandpa at home, and I say that being so close to my mom and dad, you can't imagine. I run a business with my father. But it's everybody's job. It's not my job to protect everybody else, and I don't mean that to sound selfish. It's my job to protect my daughter and her health. And if people are vaccinated, get vaccinated. It's out there. It's available if you want to do that. But I also would like to know, what is the board going to do for those children who have natural antibodies like my daughter? Because according to a study, I can tell you this, and there are plenty of them out there, you will find this study in many places, that people who have natural antibodies are 6.7 times more protected than those who have antibodies from vaccines. 6.7%. So now you're going to call my 7-year-old into school with a mask on, even though she is 6.7 times more protected than anybody who's only had a vaccine, and you want to cover her face. No thank you. No thank you. She can't get the virus, and she can't spread the virus. She's much less likely, and she's a children, because children don't spread the virus nearly as well. For those people who said you don't know that, please, for the love of God, read all of the handouts I gave you. I took the time and highlighted everything for you. I highlighted it. You have it right there. I gave it to you. So don't say you don't know. You know. I gave it to you. It's there. So something needs to be done to protect our little ones, whether they're 7 or 18, who have natural antibodies. They're safe. They're protected. If you're worried about you won't get infected from the kids who have natural antibodies. If you want a blood test, I'll give you a blood test. I beg of you not to do this for our children. This is not you don't have to make a statement, any of you. We don't have to follow. Didn't your parents, my mom taught me, you don't have to be the follower, be a leader. Let's be leaders. You always say this thing about church. You want our school district to set an example. You want us to be leaders. Do it. Be a leader. Take a stand. Set an example. Be the school district everybody talks about in a good way. You can you are? I hope you're not. I'm passionate. Thank you. I'm a very passionate person. I spent 13 years as a reporter, but I never crossed bounds. And I'm a passionate person, and I will have the faith that this school district will do what's right, which is leave it to parents' choices. I'm not saying kids shouldn't, I'm just saying give parents the choice. The last thing before I go, Dr. Schoenberger, I do have to say, I'm extremely disappointed in you. You promised me on multiple occasions you would reach out to me about a committee to go over grades, and I never heard from you.
Correct, we haven't started that process yet. We will this upcoming fall.
Okay, you had said it was going to happen over the summer so we could talk about it before the new school district started. The school year started.
The comprehensive plan committees will start this fall.
Okay,
Yeah,
please keep me on your list.
Yep, you
Thank
got
you.
it.
Can I make a comment, please?
Absolutely.
I did read the information.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving that to us. In fact, went home that same night, and my sons were in town for a week. And we all sat around the table and we passed that information around. We all read it. We noticed what you used to Google to get that information because it's there, that information is there. We saw some contradicting statistics. We did the math. We saw some contradicting statistics there. So, long story short, we went online too, and we typed in the opposite of what you did, and we got information on why you should wear it. So, what I'm
Did
trying
you
to
use
say,
Google or did you use DuckDuckGo?
I use Google.
That's the problem. Google filters everything.
You're telling me I cannot get accurate information on anything on Google?
I'm telling you that right hand up to God, if you take the same search terms and put them into Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo, you will see drastically different results because Google searches. If you do Google filters and censors everything, just like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
Exactly.
Is that we did our homework, we read what you had to give, every page. We saw conflicting information, and I'm talking college educated kids working on their master's degree. Their girlfriends were sitting at the table too, working on their master's degrees. So these are smart people. We're not trying to excuse me.
Just don't call me smart, that's fine. That's fine. You can infer that I'm not smart. I graduated from Syracuse
I did not
University
say that,
in
and
three
it
and a
doesn't
half
matter.
years.
It doesn't matter here.
With high honors.
All
So
right,
you can call
thank
me
you for
smart.
that. Thank you for interrupting. What I'm trying to say for the second
Right?
time is we did our homework. I feel we did our homework. We looked at the opposite opinion. They had a good fight as to why we should wear masks, as you have a good fight as to why we should not wear masks. So what do we do as a board?
Optional!
All right, optional. So, well, let's not even talk about that.
Why
because-
not?
All right, you
Okay,
tell
this
your-
doesn't like the
you tell
answer you
your
just got.
Child to wear a mask to school, and most kids, let's say most kids are not wearing a mask. Will that child get off the bus keeping that mask on, or will that child take the mask off? And just the opposite is true. All right? Do the opposite scenario. So your kid is the only one not wearing a mask. Will your child cave into the peer pressure?
No.
We don't want that.
No.
And then who decides, who's policing those children? We can't ask teachers to do that. We can't ask teachers to police their children on wearing a mask.